Good morning, everyone. We are here to discuss the two indigenous people groups in the Philippines. These are the Manobo and Bagobo tribes. Manobo. The original settlers of Mindanao Manobo languages are distributed over a vast region including Cotabato, Bukidnon, Davao, Agusan, Surigao, and Caribbean Islands. Practice ancestor worship and are polytheistic, have ancient and rich ethnic cultural background, chanting and playing musical instruments. When we say polytheistic, this is the belief that there is more than one God. Next.
Larger IP group, IP collective. The Bagobo are one of the largest subgroups of the Manobo peoples. They comprise three subgroups, the Tagabawa, the Klata, and the Ubo. Manobo is the larger IP group because it has many range, katulad ng Bagobo. Bagobo ay isang halimbawa ng IP group, ngunit saklaw pa rin ito ng Manobo. Next.
Geography of Manobo. Most Manobo inhabits the river valleys, hillside places, and interiors of Agusan Bukidnon, Cotabato, Davao Oriental, and Surigao del Sur. The subgroup Manobo inhabits the contiguous area along southern Bukidnon, northeastern Cotabato, and northwestern Davao. Karamihan sa mga Manobo ay naninirahan sa mga lambak ng ilog, tabi ng burol, lalampas, at interior ng Agusan Bukidnon. Cotabato, Davao, Misamis Oriental at Surigao del Sur. Ang subgroup Manobo ay naninirahan sa isang magkadikit na lugar sa Timog Bukidnon, Hilagat, Silangan ng Cotabato at Ilagang Kanluran ng Davao. Next.
Location. The IP Group Manobo is located in northern Mindanao, central Mindanao, and in Caraga regions. They can also be found in southern peninsula of Davao Oriental, most of Davao Occidental, and coastal areas of Sultan Kudarat, and in some certain portions of Palawan, which means Manobo are commonly found in Mindanao. In other words, Manobo people are originally people from Mindanao.
The worldview of Manobo. Manobo traditions during death, when the death occurs, leper death messengers are sent to inform relatives and friends. The body is washed, dressed in best clothes of the deceased, laid on mud at the exact center of the floor directly underneath the peak of the rooftop, and completely covered with a blanket. Objects such as bull or sword that the dead must take with it on its journey to the afterlife are placed near the body. A clothesline is strung parallel to the body, and the clothes of the family or the dead person's personal possessions are hung there. Yan. Tradisyon nila in terms of death is magpadala ng tagapagbalita or messengers para ma-inform yung mga kamag-anak or kaibigan ng namatay. There is much wailing and shouting, and the agong or gong is constantly beaten to announce the death to everyone within the hearing distance. The number of beats indicates the dead person's age, status, and social position. Yan. Yung mga manobo rin ay may agong na ginagamit para sa pag-anunsyo ng pagkamatay ng isang tao. Halimbawa sa isang group ng tao para marinig ng lahat, gumagamit sila ng gong. Yung gong is meron siyang malakas na sound na naririnig sa buong lugar ng grupo. In Manobo tribe, marriage is said to be traditionally imposed by parental arrangement. The asking of marriage or ginsa to the girl begins when the two families choose their datu or bai. Pagdating naman sa kasal, ang tradisyon nila is a parental arrangement wherein sa parents pa rin naka-refer lahat ng mangyayari sa kasal. The religious beliefs of the Manobo are revolved around the concept that there are many unseen spirits who interfere in the lives of humans. They believe that these spirits can intrude on human activities to accomplish their desires. As the various Manobo groups have been separated, the religious beliefs of other people have influenced them somewhat. However, the Manobo have often incorporated these new practices into their belief system rather than abandoning their practices and being converted to new religions. In their religious beliefs, naniniwala sila na may mga unseen spirits na nag-i-interfere sa buhay ng isang tao para tapusin yung mga desires nila na gusto nilang gawin when they are still alive. Next.
Material culture of Manobo. The Manobo cult tattooing pangutab in the book, The Manobos of Mindanao by John M. Garvan. Tattoos serve as a permanent identification of captivates who change their names when they are sold and resold. And they said na kapag may tattoo ka daw, ibig sabihin totoong katutubo ka. At ang ginagamit nilang pang-tattoo, yung blade ay tinatawag nila itong barong. At ang kanilang pagkatas nilang masugatan ang kanilang katawan na ay ginagamit nila ang black pigments comes from the soot of a born hardwood tree called lawaan. Called lawaan. And they said tattoos complete their womanhood and symbolize strength. Ang tattoo daw ay sinisimbolize ng kanilang kalakasan. And tattoo significance and purpose also go beyond the physical world and believe that it serves as a guiding light after life. Na sinasabi nila kapag namatay ka, madilim ang lahat at yung tattoo ang parang ilaw na magdadala sa iyo sa lugar kung nasaan ang mga ninuno mo. And tattoo serve as a identifying mark of the tribe. Next.
Social organization of Manobo. The Bagani, Baylan, Commoner, and Slave are the four groups that make up the traditional social structure. Now that the Bagani class has passed away, the culture has been defended and battle have been fought. The Baylan is a male or female priest and healer who can still be found. Farmers were the commoners and slaves captured in raids, belonged to the ruler, and were generally given away as part of the bright wealth. Short explanation for this is like Manobo are possibly the most numerous of the ethnic groups in the Philippines. Next.
Historical events or important events of Manobo. Manobo village. The Manobo usually build their villages near small bodies of water or forest clearings, although they also fertile sites, rivers, valleys, and creatures. The communities are small, consisting of only 4 to 12 houses. Ang mga Manobo ay nagmula sa mga taong lagalag mula sa kanlurang bahagi ng China. Karamihan sa kanila ay nakatira sa tabing ilog, tabi ng mga burol at sa talampas sa maraming bahagi ng Mindanao. Sinasabing sila ay unang nanirahan sa mga lambak ilog ng Pulangi. Subalit, naghiwalay-hiwalay sa pagdating ni Sharif, kabungsuan dahil sa pagtanggi ng ilan sa relihiyong Islam. Manobo warriors. The Manobo warrior traditionally wear the binukad, a typical Manobo jacket that is short, square cut, and long sleeve. Typical decorative colors are red, yellow, white, and blue. The jacket is paired with trousers called sawa or sawal right below the knees. A piece of cloth hangs on the waist. A turban called tubaw, which usually comes in color red, green, yellow, black, or a combination, is noted in front. Ang tradisyonal na sinusot ng mga Manobo warrior ay binukad, isang typical na Manobo jacket na maikli, parisukat na gupitan at mahabang manggas. Karaniwan sa mga pandekorasyon na kulay ay pula, dilaw, puti, at asul. Ang jacket ay ipinari sa pantalon na tinatawag na sawa or sawal. Sa ibaba mismong tuhod, isang piraso ng tela ang nakasabit sa baywang. Ang isang turban na tinatawag na tubaw, na karaniwang may kulay na pula, berde, dilaw, itim o isang kombinasyon na nakabuhol sa harap. Manobo tribal dress. The present Manobo dresses, like any other rustic kantilanon in the olden times, the males covers only the lower portions of their bodies. with bahag, which was made of pounded tree bark, while the females were tapis wrapped tightly from the waist laying down to about the palm's length above the knees. Ang kanilang tradisyonal na kausuotan ay magarang binurdahan at halos lahat ay gawa sa abaka. Ito ay kinukulayan gamit ang mga pangkulay mula sa kalikasan. Maging ang mga pag-aayos ng kanilang mga buhok ay masining. Ang mga buhok nila ay kadalasang nasa estilong buns at bangs. Next.
Issues confronting the Manobo. Those I said, the Manobo tribe has suffered long history of human rights violation by the military, including harassment, destruction of farms, and killings. They strongly demand to the President, concerned government agencies to intermediate all of these military elements from our ancestors. One of the problems of Manobo tribe is they are not already achieved the human rights and peace over so many years. Those people who belongs in military still abusing their powers to violate the laws. They are also using their power for harassment, destruction of farms, killings, and so on. Based of those I said, peace remains a dream for the members of Manobo tribes. Like for instance, the government were asleep when the soldiers deployed to their area. All of the people in Manobo tribes are scared to go outside in their house because of killings and alleged aerial bombing that is perpetrated by the military inside their land's ancestors. The soldiers harassing many people to leave their communities. Next.
Bagobo. The Bagobo are one of the largest subgroups of the Manobo peoples, a predominantly pagan people inhabiting southern Mindanao, Philippines. The Bagobo constitute one of the largest groups among the indigenous peoples of southern Mindanao. Subgroups refer to a subordinate group whose members usually share some common differential quality. Bagobo are more powerful and important pagan people that live in southern Mindanao. Sila rin ang pinakamalaking grupo sa lahat ng indigenous people ng Mindanao. Next.
Location of Bagobo. They live to the west and northwest of Davao Gulf. Also found southern Bukidnon and northeastern Cotabato. Bagobo is also from the range of Mindanao. Just like Manobo, Bagobo can be found in Mindanao.
Geography of Bagobo. The Bagobo may be thought of several groups of people, each of whom is speak one of three Bagobos languages. The languages belong to the Manobo family. The upland Bagobo live in the very mountainous region between the upper Pulangi and Davao rivers of Mindanao in the Philippines, whereas the coastal Bagobo once lived in the hills south and east of Mount Apu. The coastal Bagobo were influenced by Christianity, plantations, and resettlement among coastal Visayas. They now reside either with the upland Bagobo or with the Visayas and do not exist as a separate group. Ang Bagobo ay maaring isipin bilang maraming pangkat ng mga tao na ang bawat isa ay nagsasalita ng isa sa tatlong mga wikang Bagobo. Ang mga wikang ito ay kabilang sa pamilyang Manobo. Ang kabundugan ng Bagobo ay nakatira sa mga bulubundunging rehiyon sa pagitan ng itaas ng Pulangi at mga ilog ng Davao sa Mindanao sa Pilipinas. Samantalang ang baybaying Bagobo ay dating naninirahan sa mga burol na timog at silangan ng Mount Apu. Ang baybaying Bagobo ay naimpluwensya ng Kristyanismo, mga plantasyon at paninirahan sa mga baybaying Bisaya. Sila ay naninirahan ngayon alinman sa pataas ng Bagobo o sa mga Bisaya at hindi umiiral bilang isang hiwalay na grupo. Next.
The worldview of Bagobo. The inhabitants in the early settlements feared the Anitas spirits, which include deceased ancestors and nature spirits of Dewatas, who could grant their desire through offering of sacrifices. The religion is an array of innumerable gemukuds or spirits who have to be shown respect. The Dato can have as many wives as he can, but upon the recommendation and approval of the first wife. Kung sa atin hindi makatarungan ang pagkakaroon ng higit sa isang asawa, pagdating naman sa mga Bagobo, as long as inirekomenda o inaprubahan ito ng unang asawa ng dato ay pinapayagan nila ito. The Bagobo also believe in the Supreme Being who inhabits the sky world, as well as a deity, a supernatural immortal being who will bring sickness and death to incestuous couples. The principal spirit is the great creator named Igpamolak Manobo or Manama. The Bagobo bury their dead and carve coffins in the shape of a crocodile. They believe that this reptile protects the corpses from flesh-eating ghosts. Ayan. They use carved coffins sa mga namamatay, hindi tulad sa Manobo na ibinabalot lamang nila sa isang kumot. They use crocodile shape dahil naniniwala sila na it will protect the corpses from flesh-eating ghosts. Next.
Material culture of Bagobo. Bagobo called their ceremonial dress umpak, and umpak is made of ikat textile. When discussing it among themselves, but use costume when talking to non-Bagobo. Tinatawag nilang umpak ang dress nila kapag nakikipag-usap sila sa sarili nilang katutubo, at kapag non-Bagobo naman, tinatawag nila itong costume. Umpak, although referring to the same set of textile, does not suggest performance for others, but instead refers to one existent as a Bagobo and as a person. Sinasabi dito na ang pagbibigay ng parehong hanay ng tela ay hindi nagmumungkahi ng pagganap sa iba, ngunit ito ay tumutukoy bilang isang Bagobo o bilang isang tao. Next slide. The same dress is present among different segments of Bagobo, such as the neighboring Wiangan and Obo, who speak different language but share ceremonial clothing as a resonant idiom for articulating and expressing belonging to the community. Sinasabi dito na ang mga kalapit ng Bagobo like Wiangan, Obo ay nagsasalita ng iba't ibang wika at ibinabahagi nila ang kanilang mga seremonyal na damit bilang isang resonant idiom. Ang pagkakaalam ko sa mga resonant idiom, ito yung mga malalalim na salita na ipinapahayag nila sa pamayanan. Next.
Social organization of Manobo. The Bagobo are numerous with subgroups such as Taurog, west of the Davao Rivers, middle. The Timananon in the Tinaman River's headwaters. The Puangyon in southeastern Bukidnon, and the Kwamanon living along the Kwaman River, among others, all with distinct dialects and cultural features in terms of linguistic. Bagobo is a member of the Manobo language family. That definition is a bit misnomer. The explanation to this: the Bagobo are a proud people with proto-Malayan features and with a strong social structure enabled them as a group to integrate with the main body politic while retaining much of the indigenous custom beliefs and values. Next.
Historical events or important events of Bagobo. The Bagobo village. The Bagobo are settled people practicing agriculture as well as hunting and fishing. Their chief crop is rice, which they grow in clearings on the mountainsides. Ang punong ani ng mga Bagobo ay bigas, na kanilang tinatanim sa mga hawan sa mga gilid ng bundok. Dahil ang butil na ito ang kanilang sangkap na hilaw na pagkain, ang buong gawain ng paglilinang nito ay malapit na nakagapos sa kanilang mga paniniwala at kasanayan sa relihiyon. Bagobo warriors. They reserve a pattern by stitching hemp thread closely on the finished cloth, which is then placed in the dye. Ang mga Bagobo ay sikat sa kanilang galyak na tradisyon sa sandata at iba pang metal arts at nakilala dahil sa kanilang husay sa paggawa ng mga artikulo sa tanso sa pamamagitan ng sinaunang proseso ng lost wax. Ang mga mandirigma ng Bagobo ay may buong damit at kompleto sa gamit na sandata ng kanilang sarili. Next, Bagobo costume. Both men and women wear earplugs connected under the chin by numerous bar-colored strings of beads. Men who can afford it have their earplugs made of ivory imported from Borneo. Maliban sa pagsasaka, kilala din sila bilang pinakamakikisig manamit sa lahat ng mga pangkat etniko dahil sa kanilang makulay at metikulosong paggawa ng damit. Karamihan sa kanila ay karamihan sa kanilang gawa ay hango mismo sa kanilang disenyo, palamuti at borda. Filling the front tip, a Bagobo costume. The remainder of the Bagobo belong to two classes: freemen and slaves. Women and children captured in war became the slave of their captors. Ang Bagobo ay isa sa pinakamalaking grupo ng mga katutubo sa bansa. Ay hinihiling ang kanilang mga kasapi na umabot sa edad ng pagbibinata upang isampa at maitiman ng kanilang ngipin. Ito ay isang pagpapaganda na pamamaraan na isinaalang-alang nila bilang isang panghuli na ritual ng daanan para sa bawat batang Bagobo. Next.
Issues confronting the Bagobo. The lack of tenurial security of their traditional lands bears even more pressures to the marginalized tribal communities. In addition, climate change has become a major threat to the livelihood of many IP farmers, practicing crop diversification in one major adaptation of the Bagobo Klata to climate change. Ang gusto ng mga tribo dito ay maprotektahan nila ang kanilang mga lupain kasama ang mga kanilang tradisyonal na lupain dahil sa unti-unti nitong pagliit at pagkawala. Ayon sa Bagobo Klata, naging hindi mahulaan ang tag-ulan kaya hindi alam ng mga magsasaka ang tamang oras upang magtanim ng kanilang mga pananim. Naobserbahan din nila na mas mainit ito kaysa dati. Dati, maaari pa rin silang magtrabaho sa bukid kahit hanggang tanghali. Ngayon, dahil sa matinding init sa araw, binawasan nila ang kanilang oras sa pagtatrabaho at pinilit na sa halip ay magsimula sa madaling araw.
These are the links that we use as the references in our reportings. If you desire to learn more about the other information about Manobo and Bagobo, you can visit these links. Thank you, and we hope you listen and learn. Good day again, everyone.